my own. When the moon reaches the zenith is the top highest point of something. In our world, if we live in a closed system, if it's a plane of existence, like I believe it is with all my heart and soul so far, then the zenith would be at the very top of the dome, directly above the center of the world at the North Pole. And that's where the real moon is that casts the projection of the luminary that we think is the moon. Moon means world, by the way, okay? If that moon that you see in the sky is a luminary, if that's a light, that's not a world. There's no light that's a world, okay? I mean, we could get spiritual about it or whatever, but that's not a physical, actual, like, planet-type world, right? It's a light that is in the sky. It's a hologram because you're seeing images that are made by a light. It's a projection. The great eye will open. That is the inverted dome. That is sometimes, there's many times referred to by many names throughout antiquity, okay? And if you look for it, you will find it. I promise you. And all the powers of Grayskull. So all the powers of Mount Meru, as he shows you the depressurization point in Kronos right there, will be bestowed upon me. That's because whenever the apocalypse happens and the Nibiru shows up in the atmosphere or the sky or whatever, and the great red eye opens, the evil eye, when that junk opens, okay, death will happen all over the place. That's the apocalypse. I'm very sorry, but most people are not going to make it. If what I'm saying is correct, if my research adds up, most people are not going to make it, okay? But the wise and the lucky and the energetically pure, there's like 3 main things that will help you to actually survive, to be one who inherits all of the gifts and the powers that will happen because of a drastic change of climate and atmosphere and geography, and you remaining the same, dense, strong. You know what I mean? Increased mental abilities and powers as your brain goes on to overdrive, thinking like you've never thought before, as synapses are firing off in your minds. I just flicked myself in the head. All right. Anyways, let's continue on. I'm hyped up right now, man. This He-Man, people want to make it sound like He-Man's garbage. Like this just, it's just made up. It's just a stupid toy. It's just the same thing with all these movies. Yeah. like they love the news. They love the news on TV, but fudge He-Man, that's for kids. That's stupid. It's just toys. It's just dumb. It's not real. Excuse me, buddy, but I've got a million reasons why it is real, and your world is the false one. Let's see. Your wondrous sorceress will die. That's the blue beam that will be retracted into the earth. Now, and she won't die. She'll just travel. She's just going down into the underworld where she will supply energy and life to the people that live in the hollow earth. Now, all the stormtroopers start protecting Darth Vader. Pew, 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 pew. With their plasma guns. Couldn't get more obvious, right? All these plasma guns. And you can see little Skeletor Vader back there. Sith Skeletor. And so, okay, the dwarf. He's supposed to be Orko, which irritates me because Orko was I loved Orko. Orko was this cool magician. I don't want to get off track, but they can't make like a little flying Orko, so they made a dwarf or whatever, okay? That's fine. So the dwarf, the magic dwarf guy that makes stuff, as all dwarves do, made this key. The key opens up this bluish light that makes all these lights, and it becomes a portal. Right? With all these hieroglyph looking things and stuff. So he makes this portal that opens up. This portal opens up. Man-at-Arms jumps into the portal. He-Man jumps into the portal. Teela, everybody jumps into the portal, right? And they fly through this plasma conduit, which is what this is, into another world. Okay? Now it's interesting because, I think that's kind of cool. They could just jump. So will you be able to just jump? That doesn't mean, it's not a guarantee that you'll survive if you do get sucked up into the gate of heaven or whatever. It may be very cold on your way up. So I don't recommend dressing like He-Man when you do, if you want to. It's a big spiral, right? Plasma spiral. Charity Lynn Anderson. Hey, what's up, Charity Lynn? Welcome to my channel. Thanks for joining. Big name in the credits. I'll remember that. Big name in the credits. Good to see you. All right, so they get sucked into this wormhole, this plasma conduit, which is a wormhole, which is the passageway between two black holes or dark suns or openings in the firmament, right? So, and then it disappears and it goes away. The portal disappears. The portal opens up in some other world super far away. Not really, they're just time traveling, okay? It's symbolic of an apocalyptic event, or it's also symbolic of them actually traveling through plasma conduits as space travelers or whatever and landing in alternate Earths, okay? That are at different levels of progression and technology and morality and stuff. Charity, hey, also subscribed. Double high five to Charity. Cool name too. I like Charity. All right, so this portal opens up, and they're in some other world, some other Earth, far away. They all tumble down. He-Man busts out his sword immediately. These are basically Sliders. Remember that TV show, right? That came out like, I don't know, a decade later. That's exactly what happens in this TV show, right? Is Sliders. These people open portals. They go to alternate versions of Earth. They're real Earths. They'll pretend like, oh, it's just like different timelines and all this stuff. Like, I think all those timelines are happening at the same time. It's just that they seem like different timelines because it's the exact same coding in different worlds that produces the exact same looking people, exact same looking animals, exact same stuff. Sliders, boom. Sliders. Now, oh, Gwildor, that's the dwarf's name. He says, Gwildor, we must get back to Eternia. That's my Dolph Lundgren, by the way. Or He-Man. We must get back to Eternia. They need to get home now. We could be anywhere, he says. Any planet in the galaxy. So, they could be any planet in the galaxy, any planet in 1,000 galaxy. They need to find their way home, and they don't know how to get there. How can you get us home if we don't know where we are, says Man-at-Arms. Sliders. It's exact same principle, okay? This is like the He-Man version of Sliders, basically. This is the He-Man episode of Sliders. Also Stargate, same premise, right? We broke down Stargate. That's one of my favorite truth in movies. Like, if you want to get like information galore, check that one out. Our Stargate breakdown. Stargate, same thing. They go through the Stargate, they go through a wormhole, plasma conduit, etc., and they're stuck in some other world. They don't know how to get back, right? You're probably not going to get back, okay? If there's like an infinite number of other Earths out there, I highly recommend you find one you like and you just stay, okay? There's going to be an apocalypse on all of them eventually. So, I mean, you know, if it's one of those episodes where you just happen to get there and it's the apocalypse and a giant iceberg from the sky is about to crush you, okay, go ahead and open up the portal and go to a different world. But if you get like to one of those worlds where like, you know, it's like paradise and it's blissful and maybe there's like one small thing wrong or whatever, I would stay there, okay? If I was you. If I was me, I would not. I'm checking them all out. I like all of them. I'm coming fully prepared. I'm visiting your world in this life, in the next. I'm going to be in all these worlds. I'm traveling the mind of God. I'm going to all of it. I'm checking all of it out. Anyways, I'm like fantasizing right now. So yeah, Stargate. This was totally on Stargate. Right when they got there, remember this guy's like, yeah, I know how to bring us back home. No problem. And then they get there and he's like, all right, bring us back home. And he's like, about that, I don't have any idea how to get us back home. That was a good breakdown. All right, now this dude's starting to get hungry. Gwildemort, or whatever his freaking name is, right? Gildor. So Gildor is getting hungry and he busts out his little grappling hook at basically the movie's version of Kentucky Fried Chicken. And these two people are making out in the front seat. He grabs the chicken bucket. It's also got ribs, so there's like beef ribs and chicken and stuff in here, all kinds of meat. And he pulls it back, and everyone starts to eat because they're hungry now. Man-at-Arms is especially hungry. Now, this is interesting. There's a connection between them suddenly just being hungry. They just went through the portal. It's not like in the movie, like 3 days later or, you know, an hour later or anything. This immediately happens. They're immediately hungry when they come to our world. This world. This is Earth 616. In the Marvelverse. They're immediately hungry. They're immediately consumers. Why? They immediately lack energy that was provided to them by their very own atmosphere within Eternia. Okay, so they need to eat. They're probably going to get tired and stuff too. So they all start eating. They're grubbing on these, barbecue beef ribs and chicken drumsticks and stuff. And Galdon Galdemir says, yes, I've never tasted anything like it. He's chowing down. This little hairy dude right behind me. And then Tila is looking at it and she's like, yeah, I wonder why they put their food on these little white sticks. Okay, the movie's not that great, but this particular line cracks me up every time I watch this movie. I wonder why they put their food on these little white sticks. And then she takes a bite because they're digging it. They're like, this tastes good. Man at Arms knows exactly what's going on. He's like, yeah, those are rib bones from ribs. And then the dude's like taking a bite and he stops mid bite. And then she's like, you mean this used to be an animal? It's home, man. I love this part. They're vegetarians, man. In paradise, you don't eat meat in paradise. There's no need to do that. And if you're one of those people that's like, I have to have my meat. Okay. I'm not judging. Just saying, okay? You don't need it. It doesn't need to happen. There doesn't, not only that, but listen, I eat meat sometimes, okay? I don't like it though. I don't pride myself on it. I'm not like, strictly carnivorous or anything like that, right? I eat a lot of crap because there's like nothing healthy in this world left anymore to eat. I guarantee you I could bring anything. I tested this out with a live stream one time. Remember when we went to the store together? Anything I touched, people recommended it, and then other people were like, no, actually you shouldn't drink that. No, actually you shouldn't eat that or whatever. Right? We try to pick up a tomato. You guys remember all the fingernail marks and all the tomatoes at the grocery store? And then people were like, ew, yeah, don't get a tomato, forget that. She goes, what a barbaric world. Ugh, she starts spitting it out. Good job. I'm glad that they put that in here. Man at Arms don't care. Now, this is the reality, okay? You can think it's gross. You can be against it or whatever. You can think it's delicious and the best thing ever. Ultimately, to me, it doesn't really matter. Okay? I mean, I know people are going to disagree, and some people are very adamant about their diets and stuff. But for me, I'll just share my perspective, okay? I felt like a bunch of people were like, "What? What do you mean it doesn't matter?" The reason that I don't believe it really like matters in the grand scheme of things is because everything eats everything. Everything in this world basically just eats something else. I'm not making an excuse and saying like, hey. Anyways, I'm way on this subject way too much. Let's just continue on. You do what you want to do. But yeah, they're animals. And he don't care, so he takes a bite, right? And then Guildemore is like, it tasted good, huh? Like he's like processing this. He's like, damn, it was delicious, but this was an animal, and like we don't eat our animal friends in that world. And then Man at Arms, where's Man at Arms? Well, oh yeah, he says never think while you're hungry as he takes a big bite. He's like, never think while you're hungry. That's the same. My son one time was like, I made hot dogs, and he was like, Dad, what's hot dogs made out of? And I'm like, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not going to tell you right now because we're about to eat them. And if I tell you, you will not eat it. Okay? So, here's your hot dog. I'm sorry. It was like a bad dad moment. I don't know. Maybe I should not have done the hot dog. I don't know. Okay? But never think while you're hungry, says Man at Arms. It tasted good. And then we meet the advanced team that's going to go after He-Man. They're going to go through the portal and try to track him down and stuff. We got Blade, also one eye symbolism, right? He's supposed to be good with swords and blades and stuff. Then we got this reptilian looking chick who's totally a lizard person. Then we got Beastman. There will be Beastmen in the world to come. Okay? I'm telling you. Like, there are Bigfoots these days. I mean, people know this, right? There's hairy humanoids that go by different names. Sometimes they're abominable. Sometimes they're yetis. Sometimes there's all kinds throughout history and antiquity. Like these creatures, these humans existed. And some of them, there's a remnant that still do, and they hide for good reason. Okay? But they existed. They still exist, and they're going to exist again in mass, in massive numbers. Where when Gog and Magog come up out of the freaking earth, and you got real life vampires and real life what appear to be werewolves, just slaughtering many people, okay? And it's not going to be good. So this represents one of the tribes of Gog and Magog, basically to me. These are dogmen, okay? They're the dogmen, the dog-headed tribe, etc. And then you got this weird-looking, corpse-looking dude. Anyways, they jump into their own little sliders wormhole deal to go back in there. And then the protagonist, this boy and girl, this little human side story people, they're in this gym where there's like all these decorations for a dance or something, or homecoming or something, and it says around the world fantasy. I can't see it. Well, that's the theme. Around the world fantasy. Can you see it? You cannot. Man, let me zoom out. There it is. Around the world fantasy, right? And then they have a picture of the Eiffel Tower. And then they have a picture of a pyramid. Probably the Great Pyramid of Giza or a type, right? Then they have like the Leaning Tower of Pisa over here. And over here, what do they have over here? I don't know, some island or something, right? And they say that they're saying around the world fantasy. And then over here it says illusions. The band is named Illusions. What do you think that's trying to say? I don't want to give you my interpretation for this particular one. I would like to hear yours. I'm going to go back and read the chat after this. So I want to know, what do you think they're trying to say by putting all of these famous icons and landmarks, and then they put around the world fantasy illusions? What does that say to you? All right, so they go through their little slider wormhole. Beastman flexes for the camera before he jumps in, and then all that world of illusions catches fire, right? So, right as they're going, as these otherworldly fantastic creatures are coming in to invade this world is shown as catching fire. Or the gym, in that case. Who is that? Bodega Bastard? What's up, Bodega? Good to see you. I'm trying to figure out what your picture is. What is that icon? Is that you drinking a big straw? I can't tell what that is. But welcome to my channel. Alright, now this cop comes in. He says, "Kid, we swept the place. The only person we found was the janitor." Right? See this bald guy right here? He's like, the only person that we found here was the janitor, because the guy's looking for his girlfriend. The janitor, after the world set on fire, was the only one that was left, symbolically speaking. This guy also thinks that he's a slacker, by the way. I just thought I'd point that out. He's like, hold on, let me get this dude's face in here. Where is he? "Hey, we already swept the place, kid, you slacker." He's like, Mr.